As part of Acquia Marketing Cloud Analytics, we're providing a new dashboard for our clients called COVID Analysis Dashboard, which gives marketers insights into how their business is changing due to our global pandemic. We're providing this dashboard to all clients using Acquia Customer Data Platform. In this video, I will walk you through the COVID dashboard, explaining in detail the insights you can gain from each section. I'll also show you an additional dashboard called Conversion to Omnichannel during COVID that will be provided to those clients that subscribe to Cohort Analysis feature. The purpose of this analysis is to understand the impact of COVID on business and identify the changes in customer base during and after this period. With stores being closed and people staying at home, consumer behavior has changed, and it is important to understand the new purchasing habits and new trends in order to make informed decisions. So hopefully this dashboard will help you answer all the questions you need. The dashboard is mainly focused on a predefined time period, referred as stores closed period, which represents the date range when the business was mostly impacted. It doesn't necessarily need to be a time where all your stores were closed. It just represents the time period that COVID impact was felt the most by your business. And you can configure that time range through the filter at the top here. I want to mention that the dashboard is extremely flexible. All the filters and tiles are customizable to your business needs. And you can either customize it yourself, or you can engage with the analytics services team to provide customizations and add insight to the dashboard. So let's start walking through the dashboard. It is composed of several sections with different topics, namely overall business impact, shift in product preferences, channel mix and online channel behavior, acquisition and retention, both online and in store, and store reopening. The first section, business overview, focuses on how your key KPIs, key metrics have changed during this period. The first chart shows year-over-year change of buyer count, total revenue, revenue per customer, and average order value for each month. We also have the year-to-date values for those metrics and a comparison with the year-to-date values of last year. Next, we focus further on the store's closed period and look at how our metrics have changed during this period when compared to the same period with last year. We also have a daily transactions overview that shows you the metrics on a daily level. The next section focuses on product performance. First, at a high level, we're looking at channel breakdown of top product categories from the beginning of March until the end of June. Next, we're looking at the top product categories that were purchased online when the stores were closed. We have the buyer count, revenue, and our average order value for those products. We also have the gender breakdown for those products. Next, we're looking at the product preference after store reopening, which products were sold the most, and which product categories were sold the most in store only after store reopening. Now that we've looked at a high level the business impact and the shift in product preference, the next section focuses on the channel mix. At a high level, we have the channel breakdown of transactions per week from the beginning of March until the end of June. So you can see that this 100% period represents the time when the stores were completely closed. We also have the absolute values of those transactions so that you can see the change in volume. Next, we shift our focus to e-commerce only. So we're looking at the metrics of online transactions, their revenue when stores were closed, the buyer count and average order value, and a comparison with last year's online metrics of the same period. Next, we want to understand who those buyers are. So we have a breakdown of new versus existing for the buyers who shopped online when the stores were closed in 2020. We also have the gender breakdown for both this year and last year for that period, as well as the state distribution and a comparison of transactions online for this year versus last year. The next section focuses on acquisition. First, at a high level, we're looking at the breakdown of new versus repeat buyers for each week this year and also last year for a comparison of the trend. The next thing that comes to mind is looking at retention. So this chart shows you the retention of the new customers who were acquired per week of their acquisition, starting from March until the end of June for 2020. Following that, we're looking at the channel breakdown of acquisition. And again, for this period, this is only digital because the stores were closed. And this chart is extremely important for a comparison between acquisition and in-store and online. So you can compare the buyer count per channel as well as the average order value per channel for each week. Next, the snapshot shows the store's closed period for 2020 and the same period for 2019 and compares the buyers who were acquired online, their retention rate, which means how many of them came back for a second purchase during the same period, and their first order, AOV. The following section is a side-by-side comparison of people who were acquired online this year for the store's closed period and last year, same period, and a comparison of their demographics. So we're looking at the gender breakdown, their states, and their product category preferences for this period. A map here shows the top 15 states of online acquisition this year. And on the right-hand side, we have a comparison of their product categories that they bought in their first purchase when they were acquired this year and also last year. The final section is store reopening. So now that we've investigated the behavior when the stores were closed, next we want to look at how the stores are performing now that they started to open back up. The first chart shows top stores by transaction after store reopening and their transaction count, AOV, and revenue per customer. Next, we're looking at top stores' transaction counts on a weekly level to see how fast they're picking up their transaction count and their AOV for each week until the second quarter's end. Next, we're looking at top states by transaction after store reopening, and also the top products that were bought in store after store reopening in 2020. And the final chart shows the channel breakdown of those top product categories that were sold after store reopening. So this was basically the COVID analysis dashboard. The second dashboard, which I'll show you now, is conversion to omnichannel during COVID. This requires our future cohort analysis, where the cohort or the campaign is predefined and analyzed further. For this dashboard, we're focused on the repeat e-com buyers. You may remember that we looked at the newly acquired buyers during the store's closed period, and now we're gonna investigate who the repeat or existing buyers were. So here, this funnel chart shows of the repeat buyers who shopped online during store's closed period. 46% of them are now omnichannel purchasers, which means 54% were and continue to be e-com only buyers. And this percentage, 23%, shows how many of them were retail only buyers until COVID started and converted to omnichannel when stores closed. So this is very important to understand how customers have changed from being retail only or single channel customers and became omnichannel purchasers when stores closed. Next, we have a side-by-side comparison of conversion to online from retail only during stores closed period in 2020 and the same period in 2019 on the left-hand side. We also look at this conversion rate out of the buyers who shopped through January to May, so they were active in that year. It's followed by a side-by-side comparison of, again, the gender breakdown of people who converted to online from being retail-only customers, their top states, and their top product categories online during stores closed period. If you're interested in learning how the COVID analysis dashboard can benefit your business, please reach out to us to schedule a demo.